Ireland is famous for its Aran sweaters. They are thick, cozy, and instantly recognizable. But what many people don't know is that these sweaters were never just about warmth. Each stitch tells a story. So today we are traveling to Ireland to explore its knitting culture. From the symbolism of the traditional Aran sweaters to the designers and makers who are keeping the tradition alive today. And there's also going to be a giveaway by the popular Irish knitwear designer Carol Feller, and you can win both a knitting pattern and an accompanying video tutorial by her, so stay tuned for that. But for now, let's get started. When people think of Irish knitting, they usually think of Aran sweaters. These iconic garments originate from the Aran Islands, a small group of islands off Ireland's west coast. Life there was historically harsh, shaped by wind, salt, and the unpredictability of the Atlantic Ocean. Knitting wasn't just a craft there, it was a necessity. Sweaters had to be durable, practical, and warm. The wool that was used to knit the Aran sweaters was usually unscoured, which means it wasn't washed beforehand, and that resulted in a very high lanolin content, which made the knitted fabric pretty much water resistant. So perfect for the fishermen that had to spend hours and hours each day outside. But over time, these sweaters also became deeply symbolic. Cable stitches were a tribute to the fishermen's robes, as well as a prayer for safety and good luck at sea. The diamond patterns were associated with the small stone fields and the hope for prosperity and success. The honeycomb stitch symbolized hard work and its rewards, referring to the diligent honeybee. And the basket stitch was a symbol of the fisherman's basket, representing the hope of a plentiful catch. Now, historians debate whether each sweater truly carried intentional symbolism, but what matters is that the Aran knitting became a cultural language, a language that connected people to place, to family, and tradition. And that tradition did not disappear, it evolved. Today, Ireland has a vibrant knitting scene that blends heritage with contemporary design. There are knitwear designers whose designs are more rooted in traditions and others who create more modern pieces. There are yarn makers who redefine Irish wool and artists pushing knitting patterns into totally new directions. Let's have a look at some of them now. Ailbíona McLochlainn is a designer that is deeply connected to Irish knitting traditions. Her designs often feel timeless. They are rooted in structure, texture, and technique rather than fleeting trends. And her patterns show how traditional elements can be translated into garments that feel both traditional but still wearable today. And her work also reflects something very Irish, that knitting isn't just decorative, it can be functional, meaningful, and meant to last as well. Let's have a look at a couple of her designs now, and the first that I wanted to show you is called Scéal Gra, which means a love story in English. I really like the delicate lace on this piece that's both on the front and also on the sleeve cuffs. It is knitted in the round from the top down and can either be made with short or long sleeves. And let me read the pattern notes from the designer to you. We say that knitting is a labor of love. And at no time do I feel this more keenly than when working lace. The care, the trust, the commitment, the passion, they all must be present and sustained for the needles to work their magic and yield a veritable piece of my heart. An ode to this process, Scéal Gra means love story in Irish Gaelic. And the next pattern of Ailbíona that I would like to show you is called the Capelin, and I picked this design specifically for its interesting and unique shape. It is a variant of a top-down raglan that features a front-back reversible yoke with this distinct shape that's resembling a capelet that was worn over the shoulders, and hence the name of the design. And another pattern from Ailbíona that I wanted to show you because I made it myself is called the Timepiece Cardigan. And the only reason that I am not wearing my timepiece cardigan in this video today is that I accidentally shrunk mine in the washing machine last year. So this is how it looks now, and as you can see, it is not going to fit me anymore, which is such a shame because this is such a wonderful design and I absolutely loved this beautiful and cozy cardigan. But nevertheless, I can definitely recommend this pattern to you. The cardigan is knitted from the top down and features an integrated double knit button band. The pattern comes with instructions for both an Aran weight and a DK weight version. And that's actually something that Ailbíona does for a lot of her patterns, that you get different options for the yarn weight or finishings within one pattern. Next we have Daniel Koenig, who focuses strongly on Aran techniques and constructions. His work helps keep these traditional skills alive, not as a museum piece, but as living knowledge that's passed on to new generations of knitters. And the pattern that I have picked out to show you is called the Fleet Street Traditional Irish Aran Cable Knit Scarf. This is a very classic design that is knitted with the popular Irish yarn Donegal yarns, and I think an Aran scarf is a perfect way to knit something in the Aran style without committing to a full sweater. This scarf design is named after Fleet Street in Dublin, Ireland, which is where Ryan lives, and Fleet Street is the main street that goes through the historic Temple Bar district. Next up we have Carol Feller, and Carol Feller is one of the most recognized Irish knitwear designers today. Her patterns combine thoughtful construction with wearable shapes, making them popular with knitters all around the world, and they feel timeless but still modern. She has also written several books, which I'm going to link for you in the description box, along with everything else that I'm mentioning in this video. The first pattern of hers that I wanted to show you is this beautiful cardigan called Traveler's End, and this one is knitted from the top down and features a raglan construction. There are cables running down the sides of the button bands as well as on the back panel. And the instructions for these wave cables come in the form of charts. So if you want to knit this piece, you should feel comfortable reading charts. The pattern includes waist shaping, and it also features this big, beautiful folded collar. Next up we have the bear sweater, and this is another beautifully cabled design, and this time the cables are placed on both the front and the back, as well as on both sleeves and the sides. It is knitted in the round from the bottom up, and the sleeves are then knitted from the top down using short row shaping to create the sleeve caps. Carol has her own yarn line called Stolen Stitches, and she used one of her bases called Jess to knit this beautiful piece. And there is another pattern of hers that I wanted to show you because I think it looks just so unusual and interesting. It is a cardigan, but to me it looks more like a jacket, and it's called The Sight. It can be worn open with a draped front or crossed over and buttoned, and it is knitted from the top down in one piece. The front is done in garter stitch, and the back and the sleeves are knitted in stockinette stitch. So this is definitely a pattern I would love to knit and have as part of my own handmade wardrobe someday in the future, hopefully. Now, as you might be able to tell, Carol has a beautiful design aesthetic and she has a huge portfolio. I think she has published close to 400 knitting patterns to date. And if you would like to win one of her knitting patterns along with an accompanying video tutorial, those are project workshops that walk you through the construction of the pattern step by step. All you have to do is leave a comment down below and letting me know which knitting pattern and tutorial you would like to win. I am going to draw the winner exactly 1 week from now and announce it in a community post here on YouTube. And if you're a member of my school community, Carol has also set up a 25% discount code for all of her workshops and masterclasses. Thank you so much to Carol for your amazing generosity. Next up, let's talk about Tania Barley. And Tania's designs are very well known for their understated elegance and beautiful textures. Her patterns show how Irish knitting can feel both modern and quietly sophisticated. The first design of hers that I would like to show you is called Obsidian. And Obsidian is a round yoke sweater that is knitted from the top down. It has a boxy fit and features this beautiful color work both on the yoke, the body and the sleeve. This pattern offers two options for the body and sleeve shaping. One version with an A-line body and slightly exaggerated balloon sleeves, and one version with a straight body and balloon sleeves. Next up we have the Rustique sweater. This is another colorwork design, but with a very interesting and unique look to it. This is another round yoke sweater with a top-down construction. The yoke, cuff and hem ribbing are created through a combination of knits and purls, slipped stitches and simple cables, and there's only one color worked at a time, so this sweater would make for a great first colorwork project. There is another traditional Aran style sweater pattern that I would like to show you, and it is the Rory jumper by Tara Brilly. Now, what makes this design so special, at least for me, is that it was inspired by Rory Gilmore, who is one of the main characters of the TV show The Gilmore Girls that was first released in 2000. And I have watched this show countless times and was therefore very drawn to this particular design because the Rory jumper is a pattern that was mimicked after a sweater that Rory wore in the show. It has a relaxed oversized fit and features a drop shoulder construction. It's knitted from the bottom up and has cables on both the front and the back as well as the sleeves. Next up we have a pattern called the Cushendale Coat by Rachel Costello, and I think this is such an interesting design, again very unique. It has a combination of a more rustic untreated wool that is paired together with a very soft silk mohair yarn, and you have this diamond shaped pattern. So the untreated wool yarn basically creates this outer layer, and on the inside you have the soft silk mohair yarn. The silk mohair is held double to create this soft, delicate inner layer. And like I mentioned, it features this all over diamond pattern, which looks classic and elegant, but it's also very practical design. It's worked from the top down and uses 2-stitch 2-color cables to create this diamond pattern. The coat is knitted flat at first to shape the shoulders and the neckline, and then it's worked in the round with steeks in place for the center opening and optional pockets as well. And this construction makes for a very traditionally fitting coat. It has this close fit around the shoulders and a bit more positive ease and room for movement around the bust and the rest of the coat. Next up, let's have a look at a very feminine and delicate design called the Lisbon Pullover by Octopean Jess. This design was part of Making Magazine number 13, but can also be purchased as an individual pattern. It features this beautiful lace on the front and has this low back, which I think looks very elegant. It is knitted from the top down and in a fingering weight yarn. But Ireland's fibre arts aren't limited only to knitting. Carrie M Chambers is a crochet designer, and her designs show how Irish crafting traditions can extend way beyond just knitting patterns. Her Tully cardigan is this beautiful and romantic design that you can get for free on her website that is called Crochet with Carrie. The cardigan features this bobble stitch that appears on both the back panel as well as the front of the cardigan. And she states that although it looks quite intricate, it is not as complicated to crochet as you would think. And it also comes with a full video tutorial here on YouTube, which of course also makes it a lot easier to do. The cardigan is worked from the center outwards, starting with the back panel, and you crochet each piece separately and then seam everything together in the end. And another beautiful pattern of hers that I would like to show you is the Moira cardigan, and that's also available for free on her website. It features a braid-like puff stitch that adds this beautiful texture. The cardigan has drop shoulders and an open front, and it is crocheted in pieces and then seamed as well. But of course, the Irish knitting culture isn't just shaped by the designers themselves. The materials also play a role. And in Ireland, the yarn isn't just a supply, it is part of the story. Ireland has a long textile heritage, especially in the west and northwest of the country. And for generations, the processing of wool and also the spinning were local industries closely tied to the sheep farming and the regional landscape. And even today, you can still see how strongly the place influences Irish yarn. And the most popular example of this is Donegal tweed. Donegal Yarns is one of the most important commercial yarn producers in Ireland. It's based in the county Donegal, and this mill continues a textile tradition that dates back generations. The yarns are known for their distinctive tweed look, with those colorful flecks spun into the wool, and this texture has become almost synonymous with Irish knitwear today. And Donegal yarn isn't just popular in Ireland. It is used by designers all around the world, from hand knitters to luxury fashion brands. And what makes it special is that it carries a real sense of place. When you choose to knit with Donegal yarn, you are choosing to connect with an important part of the Irish textile history. And along these long-standing mills, Ireland also has a vibrant scene of smaller makers and dyers. One example is Beata Jacek, who is the founder of Hedgehog Fibres, and she helped to bring hand-dyed Irish yarn on the global map. Her yarns are known for their vibrant colors and modern aesthetic, and her patterns are available for free and showcase her beautiful yarns. One pattern of hers that I would like to show you is called Cozy Tweedy, and I think this is a perfect example how contemporary Irish yarns can bring a fresh perspective to traditional materials. The Cozy Tweedy sweater is knitted from the top down with drop shoulders and lots of positive ease. And the sample is knitted with her Tweedy base, which is a colorful modern twist on the classic heathered tweed yarns. Located in Northern Ireland, we have Emma from the Woolly Mammoth Fibre Co., and she represents a growing movement of natural dyers and small-scale fibre production. Her approach connects beautifully with the heritage of Irish wool, while also aligning with modern values of sustainability and slow fashion. And as a natural yarn dyer myself, I love to feature naturally dyed yarn, and as you can see, natural dyes can create very beautiful and vibrant colorways. What makes Irish knitting so special isn't just the cables or the wool, it is a sense of continuity. From the Aran Islands to contemporary designers, Irish knitting has always been about more than just sweaters. It's about storytelling, resilience, and community, and about the quiet beauty of making things that last. If you enjoyed traveling to Ireland with me today, I think you're also going to like the video about Shetland. Until next time, happy knitting. Take care. Bye.